well positioned to effectively implement the budget and deliver our promises to Nigerians.
Final dot in place for restoration of Nigeria's budget to January-December cycle. No legislative support for 6-year single term for president and governors as representatives reject bill.
We are also going after dealers in illicit drugs.
Security agencies strategize, assures Nigerians of crime-free Yuletide.
I think I come to accept the realities of leadership in Nigeria.
Plus, political leaders celebrate an icon at 77. Good evening, a very warm welcome, and thank you for joining us for the Network News at 9. We're broadcasting live from our studios here in Abuja. I am Rhoda Anonam. Reading with me today are Dotun Ogunyemi in Lagos, Naomi Abuako in Maiduguri, and Minau Kwabase will join us later from Enugu. Now, let's begin with what's happening in the State House as Nigeria's budget cycle has been restored to a predictable January to December fiscal year. This followed the formal signing into law of the 2020 Appropriation Act by President Muhammadu Buhari, the earliest in 11 years. At the ceremony, the President directed ministries and departments and agencies to ensure effective implementation of the budget towards optimizing the desired impact. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu has details.
Flanked by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, Senate President Ahmed Lawan, Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila, amongst others, President Muhammadu Buhari appends his signature, giving the go-ahead for the implementation of the 2020 budget. The significant and historic event was indeed a promise kept by both the Executive and the 9th National Assembly to return Nigeria to a predictable budget cycle.
I'm very pleased that the National Assembly worked uncommonly long hours in the interest of our people and the national economy to ensure detailed legislative review and passage of the budget within 2 months. I equally thank the 9th National Assembly for supporting important legislations such as the Deep Offshore and Inland Basin Production Sharing Contract Amendments Act and the 2019 Finance Bill. These laws are vital to the successful implementation of the 2020 budget. Now, we are well positioned to effectively implement the budget and deliver our promises to Nigerians.
President Muhammadu Buhari described as welcoming the renewed partnership and mutual understanding between the executive and the legislature, saying this harmonious working relationship should not only be sustained but be made the norm. He directed that efforts be made towards ensuring the presentation of the 2021 Appropriation Bill to the National Assembly by September 2020.
I will work with the 9th National Assembly to give effect to the constitutional, legislative, and other actions that may be necessary to address the various challenges currently associated with our federal budgeting process, including the enactment of an organic budget bill.
The 2020 budget has an increase of 263.95 billion naira over the executive proposal submitted in October this year.
We have examined the adjustments and may revert to the National Assembly with a request for amendment or other relevant amendments. With today's global oil market outlook and our strategic approach to revenue growth, we are optimistic that we will be able to finance the 2020 budget.
Details of the approved budget will be made public by the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning in the coming days. Happy birthday to you. The budget signing ceremony coincided with President Buhari's 77th birthday, and therefore invited guests could not help celebrating him. Oh, he's a jolly good fellow.
Everybody understands the implication of having a budget that is predictable. That tells you that our economy is going to receive a boost, an injection that will see more businesses, more employment opportunities. And of course, we also believe that this is one process that will also support the private sector so well.
There's a synergy between the executive and the legislature like never before. Many are want to criticize that. We believe that we will continue to do what we need to do as a legislature, and the executive will do what they're doing. And the harmony that is between the two, guess who benefits? It's not us, it's not the executive, it's the Nigerian people.
Senate President Ahmed Lawan and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Bajabiamila, had earlier presented a joint birthday card to the President with a promise to support his genuine efforts at taking Nigeria to the next level. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Thank you very much, Adam Musambo. With me in the studio to speak on the historic signing of the 2020 budget by President Muhammadu Buhari is a development economist and a professor at the University of Abuja. That is Professor Nazifi Abdullahi Dama. Professor Dama, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, and good evening, Nigerians.
All right, let's go straight to it.
Yeah.
We're seeing this happen just twice in the last 20 years. What is the implication? What is the significance of the January to December cycle?
Well, this is an extremely significant stride in the economic development stride of Nigeria, because we are a developing economy, and an economy that is significantly dependent on the spending of the public sector. So any slight delay on the part of public sector spending have negative reverberating effect on the economy.
Yeah.
Now, with this signing and the passage and the restoration of the cycle, it will go a long way in boosting business cycle, and it also improve confidence in the economy. But most importantly, it will give private sector practitioners the ability to define their plans and business projections in the context of a definite horizon that coincides with the normal budget cycle.
Are we also seeing that for foreign investors?
Well, for foreign investors, yes. Every investor, whether he's a Nigerian or foreign investor, the predictability with which the budget cycle is passed goes a long way in making them to align their activities with the normal budget cycle, and that goes a long way in improving confidence. And you know, every economy exists and operates on the basis of anticipation.
Yeah.
Particularly anticipated confidence of what the government is likely to do. So the positivities associated with the passage of the budget will go a long way in improving significantly the economy, provided implementation of the budget is to the fullest, and that we don't have serious revenue shortfalls as we have witnessed in the last 3-4 years.
Very quickly, before we go to the issue of implementation, the question in the minds of a lot of people, yes, it's been signed. So what next?
Well, the most important thing is to look at the specific impediments that have necessitated the delay in the implementation of the budget provisions in the previous years.
Okay.
And one of the major impediments is the delay in releases. But if you say that there is an impediment in the delay of releases, then you also look at the fact that there has been consistent revenue shortfalls. Now, the most important thing is for us, beyond this budget, to have a national consciousness and discussion of what we can do to completely insulate this economy from the shocks associated with fluctuations in oil revenue, meaning more export or more non-oil export, but also importantly more internal tax revenue, because our tax revenue to GDP is one of the lowest among the developing countries at around 6-8%, less than 10%.
Lastly, there have been challenges with execution, monitoring of budgets in the past. What are we likely to see with this January-December cycle?
Well, I think beyond the passage of the budget, I was very happy with the kind of cooperation that is existing between the legislature and the judiciary, and the pronouncement recently by the Minister of Budget and National Planning that the country is going back to the culture of national development planning. I think this is important because developmental interventions, as I've said severally on this and other fora, is a coordinated process that involves interrelationships and dependencies, and that passing of the budget in itself, if you look at it, is one of the components of the plan, which is a short-term component. Okay. But when we have a longer-term plan that incorporates basically 3 issues. Number one, financial sustainability of sources of revenue. Number two, designing a framework that improve sources of financing capital expenditure beyond the dependency on the debt, but importantly, institutionalizing a coherent monitoring and evaluation framework that will encapsulate every aspect of Nigerian public finances. That will go a long way in giving the country a sense of direction. Recently, I was coordinating a national program by Tertiary Education Trust Fund. It's the first in the history of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for a public sector agency to undertake impact assessment of its intervention in the last 20 years.
All right.
I'm using this opportunity to call on every single governmental agency that is using public resources to subject itself to the same scrutiny. Let us evaluate the impact of the resources being used for public finances.
Thank you very much, Professor Nazifi Abdullahi Dama. It's always a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you very much, and good evening, Nigerians.
All right, I've been speaking with Professor Nazifi Abdullahi Dama, professor at the University of Abuja. Now, still on the signing of the budget, the Buhari Media Organization has described the quick passage of the 2020 budget proposal by the National Assembly and subsequent assent by President Muhammadu Buhari as an indication of the progressive leadership evolving under the present administration. The media organization in a statement says the development will bring about a lot of gains for the country from both within and outside Nigeria, expecting that development partners will align their projects, plans and programs with the new budget cycle. The group also noted that in some aspects of the budget where there were additions or subtractions by the legislators, they are meant to add value and complement work of the executive with a view to achieving the intended objectives for the benefit of all Nigerians. President Muhammadu Buhari says the legacies of former South African President Nelson Mandela should continue to inspire African leaders on the need to make sacrifices for the good of their countries and leave the stage at the end of their term limits. The president stated this while exchanging views with the new High Commissioner of the South Africa to Nigeria. State House correspondent Adamu Sabo has more.
The new South African envoy, T.D. Mseleku, was in the State House to present his letters of credence to President Muhammadu Buhari to formally assume duty in Nigeria. President Buhari said the 27 years imprisonment of the former South African president, the humility and broad-mindedness in serving the nation as a citizen and president, as well as his willingness to discontinue after one term in office was exemplary. Dr. Madiba's legacy, he said, is unprecedented, and people need to take a cue from him on the lessons of leadership. President Buhari said he was pleased with the maturity and the passionate manner in which the new South African leader, Cyril Ramaphosa, handled diplomatic issues during his visit to Pretoria last October. He noted that the brotherly meeting and exchanges doused all the fears and doubts around relations between both countries. The president said South African companies in Nigeria are doing very well, assuring that the economy will always welcome foreign investments. The South African High Commissioner said he will work hard to ensure that all issues discussed by President Buhari and President Ramaphosa were followed through and implemented. President Buhari also received letters of credence from the new ambassador of Thailand to Nigeria. He assured the new envoy that the trade relations between both countries will be improved, especially in agriculture, saying Nigeria looks forward to a stronger relations in critical economic sectors. The Thai's ambassador to Nigeria, Mr. Saksi Promiyoti, said Nigeria was one of the highest importers of rice from Thailand until a policy change that had made the country more food sufficient. Mr. Promiyoti said his country will continue to work with Nigeria to improve technical capacity and expertise in the agricultural sector. Nigeria and Thailand have had long-time diplomatic relations spanning over 57 years. Similarly, the new Dutch ambassador to Nigeria, Mr. Harry Van Dijk, was also in the State House to present his letters of credence to the Nigerian leader. President Buhari assured the envoy that the diplomatic and economic relations between Nigeria and the Netherlands will be improved. The Dutch ambassador, Mr. Van Dijk, told the president that His Majesty King William Alexander and Prime Minister Mark Rutte will continue to hold Nigeria in high regard for the warm diplomatic relations over the years, as well as the hospitality accorded the Prime Minister during his visit to the country. He promised to make sure that all agreements are followed up. The ambassador described as a blessing that a roadmap for implementation has been carved out during their discussions. The three new envoys who congratulated President Muhammad Buhari on his 77th birthday were all treated to a befitting diplomatic welcome on arrival at the forecourt of the presidential villa. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
The federal government says it remains committed and focused on finding sustainable ways of financing Nigeria's immunization and vaccination obligations. President Muhammadu Buhari gave the assurance while receiving in audience members of the Global Alliance for Vaccines and Immunization. Here again is Adamu Sambo.
President Muhammadu Buhari said the various physical and security challenges experienced by Nigeria have hindered the country's ability to fully meet its financial obligations on vaccines by the year 2021 as planned. He thanked Global Alliance for Vaccines and Immunization for its over $1 billion support to Nigeria since 2001, especially through the provision of vaccines to millions of people across the country. The president described as pleasing that Gavi has not only extended its co-financing support period from 2021 to 2028, but also committed over $3 billion in new funding for vaccines, cold chain infrastructure, and strengthening of health system across the country. President Buhari pledged that the federal government would continue to provide counterpart funds as well as strategies to gradually improve fiscal sustainability by the year 2028. Dr. Seth Beckley commended Nigeria for the significant increase in national immunization coverage between 2016 and now through excellent interministerial collaboration. He urged state governments to invest in vaccination and immunization, adding that poverty reduction must equally be a goal in the country. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has restated Nigeria's resolve to collaborate with and support Hyundai Engineering Company to set up a car plant and also rehabilitate the nation's petroleum refineries. The president made this known while receiving the president and chief executive officer of the company, Mr. Chang Hakim. He said Nigeria is also committed to ensuring energy security in the country with a goal of achieving self-sufficiency in the supply of petroleum products within the next 3 years. President Buhari, who welcomed the proposal to set up Hyundai car plant in the country, pledged to make the investment a reality. Mr. Hakim said Hyundai Engineering Company, which hires about 15,000 engineers and technical staff globally, is willing to contribute to the development of the Nigerian economy. The company, with a record of building refineries worldwide, has its biggest plant in South Korea with a capacity of 650,000 barrels per day. Hyundai says it will be glad to contribute its quota to the growth of Nigeria's economy. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
You're watching the news at 9 on the network service of the NTA. We'll take a break now. When we return, legislators' position on single 6-year term for president and governors. Stay with us.
Oh, yeah, take Madam Ibo.
So, you now want to pick my call?
Then bomb me where? Mommy of life.
Toilet, mommy. Where my car?
Mommy, now smart things remain.
If my car not ready for tomorrow, me and you go put leg inside one trouser. One lie.
Lost my phone.
Yes, ma. Look at this phone. All right, yes, ma. Hey, Majo, Kini.
Mommy, don't be you. Don't waste your credit. When I finish, I go call.
You call me. Me where my middle name na credit. Where Glow they give me boku.
Glow and Mebo. Get 5 times your recharge to call all networks. Recharge with *555* PIN hash.
This talk people. I beg, give me a phone, make I go, Joe.
Talon sa taku yen.
Glow Unlimited.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, invites select directorate and senior level officers at the ministries, departments and agencies to the second phase of a 4-day specialized capacity building program on policy implementation and cabinet documentation processes for enhanced service delivery. Theme: capacity building on policy management processes and cabinet documentation for enhanced service delivery. Training objective: to strengthen the skills of directorate and senior level officers at the ministries, departments and agencies in the area of policy management, including preparing and processing of council documents. The training is scheduled to hold as follows. Date: December 19th to 22nd, 2019. Time: 9 a.m. daily. Venue: Center for Management Development, Shangisha, Lagos State. All participants are expected to arrive on Wednesday, December 19th, 2019 for induction ceremony at 4 p.m. Attendance is strictly by invitation. Babatunde Lawal, Permanent Secretary, Cabinet Affairs Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. Announcer.
You don't really own a watch until you own a Chris Air. Until you own a Chris Air.
Black Watch by Chris Air.
Sexy. The Black Watch.
Beautiful.
The Black Watch. Magnetic. Sexy. Black.
Elegant.
Love the new Black Watch by Chris Air.
Chris Air.
Visit us at Transcorp Hilton Lobby opposite UBA, Abuja.
On behalf of government and good people of Niger State, I, Governor Abubakar Sani Bello, hereby felicitate with President Muhammadu Buhari GCFR on the occasion of his 77th birthday. Your genuine compassion for the people and concern for the growth and development of Nigeria have evidently manifested in your dogged patriotism and desire to make this nation great again. Indeed, your leadership style and interest in improving the living standard of Nigerians are becoming legendary. We express gratitude to Allah for granting you a life of great achievement and fulfillment. We are also proud to celebrate a strategic leader and statesman whose positive dispositions have restored the country to the trajectory of peace, progress and development. As you age gracefully, our prayer is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to bless and give you the wisdom and sound health in piloting the affairs of this country to the next level. Congratulations and happy birthday. Signed, Alhaji Abubakar Sani Bello, Niger State Governor.
You can choose to manage everything else, but not your data. Get more out of life with the new Airtel data plans. Dial *141# today. Data is life.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
The Nigeria Police Academy, the Honorable Minister of Police Affairs, and the Inspector General of Police, on behalf of the Council and the Senate, most cordially invite all to the passing out parade of the 2nd Regular Course Cadets. Date: Thursday, 19th December 2019. Venue: Polak Parade Ground, Woodhill, Kano. Time: 9 a.m. For further inquiries, call 0703-211-7855.
In today's world, it's tough being a woman. But thanks to So Clean, Nigeria's #1 detergent with stain magnet technology, doing washing is a whole lot faster and smarter too. Only So Clean has stain magnet technology with an advanced enzyme formula that pulls out even the toughest trapped dirt, just like powerful magnets. No wonder Nigerians love So Clean. So Clean, for a faster, brighter, cleaner wash.
I think she's got the hots for me. I think she likes me.
I don't think so.
I think she
Cut it out. That's my girlfriend.
I'm out. Coming through. Yeah, that's it, baby. I'm all yours.
Taste me now.
Woo-hoo! So tasty.
How is it going in there?
Pretty cozy.
Mini-Me, taste the fun.
You're welcome back, and if you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 9 on the network service. Still staying with happenings in the State House, the 2023 Nigeria's general election that will produce the next president and political leaders of the country will be free, fair, and most credible. And political office seekers will no longer be allowed to take the nation's voting populace for granted. This is President Muhammadu Buhari's birthday promise to Nigerians while speaking to NTA News as he clocks 77. Let's join Adamu Sambo in the State House.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
This is virtually an ambush as President Muhammadu Buhari had no inkling whatsoever regarding what was in the offing. Although given his military background, President Buhari hates to be taken by surprise, but seeing the familiar faces around, he could not help joining the party. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, and the Director General, Department of State Services, Yusuf Magaji Bichi, joined other presidential aides led by the Permanent Secretary of the State House, Jalal Arabi, to formally celebrate the Nigerian leader at 77. Cards in different designs, sizes, and colors bearing various messages of solidarity and goodwill were presented to the president at the event.
We can only wish him the best, wish him good health, wish him more wisdom, wish him more zeal and tenacity to deal with the problems of Nigeria. You need a strong leader like Buhari to be able to resolve the issues that are contending with the soul of our country.
So personally, what are you assuring him as SGF?
Well, my support, my loyalty, my determination to do things out of the box to ensure that we get out of the woods.
We are privileged that we have been asked to come and serve the country alongside him.
So what do you wish him?
Many happy returns, greater health, and that by 2023, when he's exiting, Nigeria will not be the same like he met it in 2015, and I will have a peaceful retirement.
What are you assuring him as his spokesperson?
We will always be there, watching his back.
What do you wish him at 77?
All that you can wish for a God-fearing, humble, humane, and a complete gentleman. We pray for good health, longevity, so that all the lost opportunities that we've gotten now to put the country in a very sound state will be endured and will be realized.
So what will you assure him as PAMSEC State House going forward?
Serving Nigerians as the most important task before us.
Just yesterday, the Senate President said it all, that this is one man that he has put across all that he wanted to do. You could see genuineness in all that he wanted to do. This is not just maybe people taking money for frivolities. No, you can even trend every kobo of whatever amount that is taken. Look at our infrastructures today. Whatever we want to say, we're not where we should be. I will not come here and say, oh, everything is El Dorado. No, but we are on the right path.
How does it feel at 77? A question posed to President Muhammadu Buhari by NTA News.
I think I feel well at 77. If you know 77, have you ever played tambola? They say scratches. Those who are at 77, a lot of them are on the scratches. I'm working on my 2 feet.
What's the secret, sir? You're getting older, but more stronger, more agile, and more fresher. What's the secret?
I think I come to accept the realities of leadership in Nigeria. You can only try. It's a terrific country. No matter what you do, there are people on daily basis that look for your faults and go to the press. So you have to learn to live by that.
So what's your birthday gift to Nigerians?
Patience, patriotism. That's what will see us through. Nobody can have his own way. We better accept that what we are Nigerian, we keep on building. God has blessed us with land and people and resources. We must have the patience to exploit them and leave something for the future generations.
So what assurance are you giving Nigerians as you execute your mandate?
What I want to promise Nigerians that I will work very hard on is free and fair election. All those that are going to succeed the National Assembly and the presidency, they better work very hard, because I will make sure that elections are free and fair. Nobody uses his office or his resources to force himself on his constituencies.
President Muhammadu Buhari's birthday celebrations continue across Nigeria. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Still celebrating an icon at 77, more Nigerians are felicitating with President Muhammadu Buhari on his 77th birthday. Chimdimani BC gives us more details.
In a congratulatory message to the President on his 77th birthday, the Northern Governors Forum notes that the President has demonstrated unparalleled leadership, integrity and sacrifice in bringing change to Nigeria. In the same vein, the Progressives Governors Forum says it is proud to be associated with President Muhammadu Buhari, describing him as a role model to this generation. President of the Senate, on behalf of the Senate, wishes President Muhammadu Buhari good health and long life. He praises his consistent commitment to the cause of the downtrodden and the purposeful leadership he has provided for the country in the last 4 years. The Speaker, House of Representatives, praise Almighty Allah to continue to grant the President good health, wisdom and protection as he pilots the affairs of the nation. He observes that under his leadership, Nigeria is on track towards achieving the dream of the founding fathers. He assures the President of the cooperation of Parliament as partners in progress. Also, the Buhari Oshibajo social media supporters at a gathering to mark President Buhari's birthday says his fight against corruption has endeared him to the hearts of the people.
He is somebody that should be celebrated. Nigerians should support him.
The group wishes the President good health as he continues to move the nation forward.
All right, now let's move now to other issues, and of course we'll go over now to the legislature as the Senate has resolved to invite the Minister of Interior to appear before its Committee on Interior, Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters to give briefing on the logistics and conditions for the implementation of the visa on arrival policy of the federal government. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nko reports that the Senate also received a request from President Muhammadu Buhari for the confirmation of the chairman and commissioners of the National Assembly Commission.
For the confirmation,
the last Tuesday plenary for 2019 commenced with President of the Senate Ahmed Lawan reading presidential request for the confirmation of chairman and commissioners of the National Assembly Service Commission, an additional 2 nominees as members of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria.
Engineer Ahmed Kadi Amshi, Chairman, Yobe, Northeast. Please accept the single Senate President the assurances of my highest consideration. Yours sincerely, Muhammadu Buhari.
And then the issue of security and trade engaged the legislators as Senator Lubumi Adetumbi drew the attention of his colleagues to the urgent need for the domestication of African Continental Free Trade Agreement vis-a-vis the implementation of the recently announced visa on arrival policy of the federal government.
To come to Nigeria without visa requires compliance with Section 12 of the 1999 Constitution. We domesticate it so that the do's and don'ts and cross the I's and dot the I's and cross the T's. Other countries are doing it and they are gaining a lot in terms of business influence in that country.
Senate mandated its Committee on Foreign Affairs to meet with the Minister of Foreign Affairs to ascertain the reason for the alleged maltreatment of Nigerians in Ghana, as moved by Senator Ifeanyi Uba, as Senator Sandy Ono's motion urging the federal government to immediately mandate Julius Berger to resume rehabilitation and dualization of Calabar-Itu Federal Highway was adopted by the Senate. In the same vein, Senator Jibril Issa pointed out the urgent need to immediately commence the rehabilitation of the Itobe-Ajokuta Road in Kogi State.
So our state government continue to spend huge sum of money in maintaining federal government roads. This road in particular has been maintained twice or so by Kogi State government.
The legislators passed the Oil Palm Industrial Park Establishment Bill through second reading. The bill, sponsored by Senator Michael Nnachi, seeks to provide a legal framework that will expand oil palm production in Nigeria, create employment, and encourage private investment. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has rejected a bill seeking to amend the Constitution to provide for a single term of 6 years for the President and governors. The bill, sponsored by John Deere, failed to make it through second reading as it could not secure the support of lawmakers. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
The bill also sought a 6-year term for National and State Assembly lawmakers.
Were it not for the opportunity of second term, most of the people that occupied executive offices would have operated with impunity from day one to the end.
The proposed amendment is self-seeking. As members of the legislative arm and as serving members, we cannot come here and amend the bill to suit ourselves.
The question is that those in favor of the bill be read the second time, say aye. Those against say nay. The nays have it.
The House, during plenary, resolved to invite the chairman of the Independent Corrupt Practices Commission, ICPC, for interaction on allegations of corruption leveled against National Assembly lawmakers. It is also to investigate the Nigeria Social Insurance Trust Fund in relation to alleged fraud by management of the fund, put at 2.3 billion naira. The issue of security again attracted the attention of House members as they urged security agencies to do more in curbing security breaches on highways in some parts of the country.
The cases of missing persons occur all through the year, but are usually heightened at the end of the year, affecting both young and old, men and women.
This period and beyond, our road shall be safe. We can travel at any time, both during the day and at night.
Meanwhile, the House wants the National Universities Commission to look into first degrees and other academic qualifications obtained outside the country, as some are questionable. As the Committee of the Whole, House members considered and adopted recommendations of the ad hoc committee set up to find out why the Warri, Port Harcourt, Onne, Calabar and Onitsha ports have not been put to maximal use. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Still staying with issues and matters at the Senate, the presidential nominee for the chairmanship of the Federal Inland Revenue Service Board, Mohammed Nami, says he is determined to collaborate with other board members to effect desirable results in the areas of tax collection and management. This was his remark at his screening exercise by the Senate Committee of Finance along 11 other board membership nominees. National Assembly correspondent Abdullah Amini reports.
Before the Senate committee is a chartered forensic investigation professional, Mohammed Nami, who is also an associate member of the Institute of Debt Recovery Practitioners of Nigeria, an association of national accountants of Nigeria. The board chairman nominee said his focus will remain on ethics to drive the country's tax administration forward and ensure the taxpayers are getting value for their money.
I'm lucky to have a very rich team, particularly the board members, some of them that have practiced taxation and accounting for over 40 years, and we'll leverage on that, and we shall make sure that we attend to issues as a team.
The committee, under the chairmanship of Senator Adiola Solomon Olamilekon, successfully screened the nominees from the 6 geopolitical zones of the country, and representatives from the Federal Ministry of Finance, Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission, Office of the Attorney General of the Federation, Central Bank of Nigeria, and NNPC. From the National Assembly, Abdullahi Aminu, NTA News.
The Air Task Force of Operation Lafiya-Dole has dealt another decisive blow on terrorist elements operating in the northeast of the country. In a statement by NAF Director Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Ebukole Daramola, this was achieved on the 15th of December 2019 in an airstrikes executed as part of the ongoing Operation Rattlesnake that led to the destruction of some Islamic of State of West Africa Province logistics storage facilities at Kertu Wolgi on the fringes of Lake Chad in the northern part of Borno. The operation was executed after credible human intelligence reports indicated that 3 green roof buildings at the edge of the settlements were being used as warehouses by the ISWAP elements to store their food, vehicle spare parts, gunboats and other logistic items. Accordingly, the ATF, after carrying out confirmatory intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance mission, dispatched its attack aircraft to engage the location, scoring devastating hits in successive strikes leading to the destruction of the buildings. The NAF says it will continue to work with surface forces to destroy all remnants of the terrorists in the northeast. Nigeria's dependence on the sea for internal and external trade makes it imperative for the Nigerian Navy to protect its domain. And as this year winds down, the Navy says Nigeria have a right to know how this is being done. Correspondent Najatu Tijani attended a formal presentation of the Navy scorecard to the media and now reports.
December is usually a time of evaluation for most people and organizations, and for the Nigerian Navy this is no different, as it presents its balanced scorecard to media executives of various organizations. This scorecard includes all the strategic information needed to present a better review in 2020.
Piracy has continued to threaten maritime commerce in the Gulf of Guinea, although its menace has greatly reduced in Nigerian waters in 2019.
These results are crucial to the strategic management of Nigeria's maritime domain, which translates to an estimated 94,000 nautical miles, roughly 1/3 of the country's landmass. Thence, correspondents at the briefing sought to know how data collection as an important aspect of the review will improve maritime strategies.
The maritime domain plays a very key role in our economy.
The Navy guarantees that taxpayers' funds are being used effectively in operations which have contributed to national security. Najatu Tijani, NTA News.
Nigeria has joined other countries to domesticate the Global Compact for Migration following its adoption at the UN General Compact for Safe, Orderly and Regular Migration. This was at the National Dialogue on Migration organized by the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons in Abuja. Ruth Aguele reports.
People went to say Libya, Italy. Italy no use you.
I'm sure you're familiar with this. Change, they say, is dynamic. This quest has necessitated many people to seek for greener pastures, often through irregular means, that has led to loss of lives on the perilous journey. Now, to implement a national action plan of the Global Compact for Safe, Orderly and Regular Migration, concerned minds here are charting a dialogue for the localization and domestication of the Global Compact for Migration to curb the trend of illegal migration.
Recognizing the giant that we are, the Commission has strived to collaborate with various sectors to strengthen economic stability and plan interventions that advocate for a renewed hope in Nigeria.
Legal migration, these experts say, can contribute to the socio-economic development of the nation when poverty is reduced by mainstreaming it into national developmental strategies.
We must go to this population, this 60% population, and try to first give them a job so that they can have a living.
Localizing the GCM is of great importance to Nigeria because we believe it will offer our migration governance an opportunity of improving various policies and programs of government.
As the dialogue continues, the belief here is that there is hope in stemming the tide of irregular migration. In Abuja, Ruth Aguele, NTA News.
You're watching the news at 9. Dotun is standing by in Lagos. Dotun, it's over to you.
Thank you, Rhoda, and welcome to Lagos. Over 1.7 billion naira worth of tramadol have been destroyed by the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, in 2019. The Director General of NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, disclosed this while engaging stakeholders in the pharmaceutical industry in Lagos. Lynn Lineke reports.
Over the years, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control has evolved strategies to combat the ever-increasing challenge of regulation and curbing the importation, distribution, sales, and usage of pharmaceutical products. This interactive forum is therefore to identify gray areas that require clarification and strengthen regulatory process and improvement of strategies. The Director General, NAFDAC, rolled out plans to achieve 60% local production of pharmaceutical products by 2024.
It's not just the finished product that we're going to be testing, we're going to be testing the active pharmaceutical ingredient to ensure that what is put into the product is what the patient is going to be getting.
Stakeholders collaborated the idea of attaining 60% of local production of pharmaceutical products.
Until the pharmaceutical industry begins to produce at a higher capacity of the installed capacity, then it is easier for us to get to 60% faster than 70%.
It is in our collective interest that all of us in our respective areas of job assignments discharge this very responsibility to the best of our ability for the common interest of our dear nation.
NAFDAC says it will continue to rid the country of counterfeited products and strengthen the complaint handling unit of the agency in line with the global best practices. In Lagos, Lynn Lenake, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from Lagos. Network News continues after this break. Do stay with us.
Expressions without words won't have it any other way. Moments will feel joy. Been lost in the moment, the freedom you will find. That's what's celebrating. Bring your moments alive. Find your satisfaction in the nourishing, trending, sparkling. Celebrate a little win, making big differences. In the nourishing, trending, sparkling.
Enjoy in red grape, white grape, peach variants, the Valletta sparkling fruit drink. Celebrate every moment.
Years ago, a scout was looking around Bayelsa. Luckily for me, he came to my school. And that was how my journey of becoming the Nestle Milo Basketball Championship MVP began. Along the path, some people tried to discourage me because I was short. But then I got to realize that it's about your heart, not about your height. Sometimes I get discouraged going for training and all that. Sometimes I trek, and that is what every person that knows where he or she is going has to do, to play along with the challenges and make sure you overcome it. I am grateful for the platform Nestle is giving to young athletes like me. My name is Regina Donanu, and this is my journey.
Nestle, good food, good life.
Nothing can stop you from achieving your dreams but you. Nothing can stop you from achieving your dreams. Chris is saying, believe in your originality and nothing can stop you.
Chris Air Fine Jewelry and Timepieces. Visit us at Transcorp Hilton Lobby opposite UBA Abuja.
Everybody dance now. We are the strongest. No challenge can stop us. So
let Mocha goodness fuel your greatness. Let's go.
Telemundo new series. Meet Antonio. He has everything except a happy family. And Julieta, she has a dream man. Or is he a nightmare? Fall in love with Telemundo's new romantic comedy. It will sweep you off your feet. A Telemundo new series. Almost yours. Every weeknight at 7.
You're welcome back and thank you for being there. Now let's update you on what's happening in the world of business as Nigeria's inflation increased to 11 0.85% in November of 2019, gaining 0.24% points higher than the 11.61% recorded in October 2019. This is according to the National Bureau of Statistics, CPI and inflation reports for November 2019. On a month-to-month basis, the headlines index increased by 1.02% in November 2019, a 0.05% rate lower than the rate recorded in October 2019, which is 1.07%. The report also noted that the urban inflation rate grew to 12.47% in November 2019 from 12.20% recorded in October 2019, while the rural inflation rate increased to 11.30% in November 2019 from 11.07% in October 2019. Also, the composite food index rose to 14.48% in November 2019 compared to 14.09% in October 2019. The report attributed the rise in the food index to increases in price of bread, cereal, oils and fat, meat, potatoes, yam and other tubers, plus fish. Now Naomi has the next set of stories from Maiduguri.
Thank you, Rhoda, for joining us in Maiduguri. The synergy between Nigeria and neighboring countries fighting the Boko Haram insurgency has been most successful and are now working to improve the security situation in the northeast. This came up when Minister of Defense Major General Bashir Salihi Magashi led service chiefs on a courtesy call to Borno State Governor Babagana Umar Zulu at the Government House, Maiduguri. Muhammad Ibrahim reports.
The visit by the Minister of Defense to the theater of operation against Boko Haram insurgency is geared towards assessing operations as it relates to Nigerian Army and Chadan forces. Major General Bashir Magashi disclosed that plans are on to redesign the battle to suit the environment so that forces can seriously take on the Boko Haram and see to their end.
We, the Nigerian government, is doing its best to provide the resources, both human and capital, and equipment to ensure that this work is done properly and with the speed it deserves.
Borno State Governor Professor Babagana Umar Zulum commended the Nigerian military and commitment of President Buhari's administration in drastically reducing attacks by Boko Haram insurgents. He was quick to note that the government and people of Borno will be happy if the military will develop a modus operandi for re-establishing businesses in the grassroots to boost the local economy.
The Chief of Army Staff and Chief of Air Staff have given us all the necessary support to reopen this road.
On the issue of reconstruction and resettlement, the governor explained that military operations should be followed by stabilization mechanisms and reopening of roads in areas such as Kukawa, Nganzai, Mobar, Abadam, Marte, as well as Bama and the shores of the Lake Chad. In other engagements, the Minister of Defense was briefed at the Military Command and Control Center Malare Cantonment and assessed platforms at the Theater Command Operation Lafia Dole, as well as the Nigerian Air Task Force component of the counter-insurgency operation. In Maiduguri, Muhammad Ibrahim, NTA News.
That's a contribution from Maiduguri. Rhoda is back to you in Abuja.
Thank you very much, Naomi. And still talking security from here, Nigerians can be sure of crime-free Yuletide because the Nigerian Police Force says it is working round the clock to rid the country of criminalities during and beyond the festive period. Force Public Relations Officer DCP Frank Mba gave the assurance while parading 71 suspects at the SARS headquarters Abuja and revealed that a new trend in car hijacking has been uncovered by the intelligence response team of the police. Kelvin Ebohai reports.
The Yuletide comes with increase in socio-economic activities, with criminal tendencies also on the increase. The end-of-year mop-up operations of the police is essentially to ensure Nigerians go about the celebrations and activities without fear, especially those traveling on the highways. The 71 suspects paraded include ATM robbery syndicates, one-chance operators, kidnapping gangs, including those who recently adopted the traditional ruler of Robochi community, and a car hijacking gang who uses a sophisticated anti-jamming device to demobilize tracking devices in cars, as well as illicit drug dealers.
We are also going after dealers in illicit drugs.
Just like weapons fuel some of these violent crimes, illicit drugs also help in giving the criminals Dutch courage and giving them the leverage to commit all kinds of violent criminal activities against our citizens.
9 rifles, 3 assorted weapons, 2 vehicles, mobile phones and 4,000 packs of tramadol with market value of 54 million naira were recovered from the suspects in Abuja. Kelvin Ewonwaye, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Federal Road Safety Corps has mobilized 39,450 of its personnel, including Special Marshal, along designated routes as part of measures to ensure sanity on the nation's highway during this Yuletide season. In a statement, the Corps' Public Relations Officer, Bisi Kazim, says the agency also deployed logistical and operational materials, including patrol vehicles, ambulances, and 2 trucks to offer prompt rescue and recovery services. The special operation will last till 19th of January 2020 with 24 hours enforcement along major highways. Motorists are warned to ensure strict compliance with all traffic rules. Passengers are equally enjoined to monitor their drivers under the influence of alcohol and use the FRS emergency lines 112 and 070-2255-3772. You're still watching the Network News at 9. We'll take our last break for the night.
Financial transparency and open governance in focus tonight on NTA Tuesday Live, with the role of communication and digital economy in national development. Tuesday Live, incisive and educative. Join us.
All right, you're welcome back. You're still watching the news at 9. President Muhammadu Buhari has continued to pledge to continue to serve Nigeria with more vigor in the remaining period of his administration. DC says will place the country rightfully amongst the Committee of Nations and build a country that citizens are proud of. This was when a coalition of Buhari Oshibajo's social media supporters and the Buharis visited the State House to congratulate him on his 77th birthday. The president, who was represented by his special advisor on media and publicity, Mr. Femi Adesina, appreciated the youth for remembering the Nigerian leader on a special day like this.
After 2 months, the budget has been signed off. It shows you that good things are happening in Nigeria. So the president has pledged to serve even more with all his strength. Like we have always said, President Buhari wants nothing from Nigeria. Nothing. Yes. Rather, he has come to give Nigeria everything. Everything.
The leader and convener of the group, Blessing Chemfa, said their mission was to show appreciation and support to the president for the good things that he's been doing for Nigerians.
Muhammadu Buhari, Nigeria is on a firmer ground, and we thank God for that. And we feel it is ideal for us to do this, to appreciate our president.
All right, and that's the much we can take tonight on Network News. We thank you for watching. Of course, continue to stay with us here on the NTA for more great programming. I'm Rhoda Anonam. On behalf of myself and everyone here, we thank you for watching.
You can follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook at NTA Network News, Instagram at NTA Network, Twitter at NTA News Now, YouTube at NTA News Online. Or visit www.nta.ng. For live streaming, visit www.nta.ng/live. Now, you can stay updated on the go, be it on your TV, iPhone, laptop, or iPad, or download the NTA mobile application from your Play Store or App Store. NTA, you can beat the rich.
Issues in the sports sector remain one of the most debated among Nigerians due to the passion, followership, Government involvement, impact on Nigeria's external image and our national life in the sports parliament. The NTA offers Nigerians deep views on issues with experts in the sports sector, offering in-depth analysis, hindsight, insight and foresight towards elevating Nigerian sports to the zenith on the floor of the sports parliament. Sports Parliament, a unique platform for sports discussions, showing live on the NTA. Keep a date with the parliamentarians.
The eyes have it.
Wanyoma. Tomato, just tomato. Asampete. My woman, I say make I salute you proper.
No, sir. Bring pepper soup on this table. I will pay. Just bring for me too. I will for master. Don't worry, blame for him. I will pay. This is my friend.
NTA, you come